That's okay. As we
Yeah. It looks like Fiora and J4 are going for that early dragon here. That'll be really good here. Snowballing into the team here. See Fiora coming bot here. You know, she was taking the grumps. She is going to draw Vayne's attention here, but it's not going to do much.
All right, and we're back. And all right, and we're back, and we are seeing that Vayne is actually falling behind the Graves now. 11 and a half minutes in, and it is just 3 kills in favor of Team Bro 41. Gotta say, I was not quite expecting this. We had seen a lot of great performance out of Los Jugadores earlier today, and Bro 41 from Loses Bracket has been making quite one hell of a comeback. Malphite is trying his best to harass this Elise, but as we can see up in top lane, that's just not working out for him so far. Looks like that early Sheen did not really help him any more than he was hoping. Elise is pushing him out with only a slight gold advantage on her part, but it is going to end up snowballing as she has been making some great plays herself. As Bro 41 sets up for taking this dragon, it is almost uncontested. Looks like Team LosJugadores knows what's up, but they aren't really able to do anything, seeing they don't have any wards. And it looks like second dragon goes to Team Bro 41, and the Jungle Gragas comes in, tries to walk in and take something. He doesn't get anything. Fiora comes in, makes quick work of the Leona, and she's forced to flash back over the Dragon Pit. Already almost a 3K lead for Bro 41 with 4-0 kills, 2-0 dragons. Still not a tower on the map. The Graves is feeding himself up something fierce. Not that far ahead in terms of CS from the Vayne. Also a little surprised to see that Graves has not managed to pull out any actual kills for himself, only assists. But still, that is going to be enough gold to keep him ahead of that Vayne, who is 0-2-0. Looks like Razor isn't finding his own in this game, he was a top performer on their team in the past. Along with the Malphite also falling behind, it is not looking good for Team LosJugadores. Little poke going back and forth. That Jarvan is going in. Is he going to get himself another kill? And yes, he does. It is 5-0 for Bro 41. That Jarvan is sitting nice and pretty at 3-0. Oh, and that Gragas gang coming in with his ult, going to push Elise back on the lane, but she repels away. Is it enough to seal the deal? Gragas comes in with that belly bounce, and he lays down the hurt, and Malphite actually gets the kill. And Fiora coming in for the both of them. Is she going to end up ulting? Yes, she does. She ends up picking a kill. Cannot get a second one, and Gragas picks one up for himself. Still very much so in favor of Team Bro 41, but looks like we finally got some kills on the board for Team Los. Oh, and Vayne burns a flash, makes sure to get herself out of trouble. That Jarvan doesn't have his Cataclysm up yet, so she is good to go for the moment. Leona all by herself under that tower. She can't do much. Stuns the Alistar, and they are just holding on for dear life, trying to keep them off that tower. But it looks like Bro 41 has no intention of sitting on that tower and poking it just yet, as they are still respecting the fearsome power of that Vayne. They're moving around, not even trying to put down any vision. That Alistar is just kind of sitting out behind Dragon Pit. Oh, and the game has been paused for the nth time today. Who knows how long it is going to be until we get to see this again. But let's try and just kind of recount for a second until we find out another connection issue. Good old IIT potato, everyone. Even the routers are probably made out of instant mashed potatoes. Ethernet cables connecting them, just strings of fake garlic powder and butter. So gonna. Oh, we're starting to get some restarts and reconnections. All right, and play resumes. Let's see what they are actually trying to do up to, because that dragon is not going to be up for quite a while yet. But they are just kind of gathering. It looks like they are just deciding to roam around. Maybe their plans have changed a little bit. They're securing their blue buff. J4 is going to get himself some nice cooldown reduction and mana, so he can keep going ham on this Yasuo. Yasuo has finished his static. However, with that Tiamat and a Brutalizer on the part of J4, I don't think that that's going to prove to be too much help. We have Jungle Gragas coming in here who's looking to make a play, but he's just going to have to walk in, and Vayne keeps pushing it up inner lane, so it looks like she doesn't really want this Gragas to do much for them. Fiora's coming in with the vision. They get to see that Gragas is there, and Graves gives no fucks. They're just sitting all 5 bot, and they are going to try to push this in because they are too far behind, and they are trying to roll some kills up themselves. Dragon is up in 140. Maybe they're trying to keep things in their favor for being able to set that up. Keep bot lane pushed too far back. Keep that Graves back in lane. And no, they are rotating away back to mid lane because that Jarvan put a lot of pressure up on the inner tower. And it looks like Bro41 is going to be real kind-like and help out LosJugadores by cleaning up their buffs for them. Well, it looks like some poor sight and vision. Looks like some poor sight and timing management on their part is going to be their downfall. Oh, and here comes the Elise with the stun on the Malphite. And the Gragas can't do anything. J4 in Cataclysm does not get the kill, but still nets it for the team. And he is still not down, only 200 health. Oh, and he flashes over a wall, does not die, ends up with just getting a 3-for-0 favor of Bro41. That was intimidating. LosJugadores have got to be pretty scared right now after their amazing track record. They keep getting pushed out. This cow is building just relic boots and a sight zone. He is not even making himself a wall yet, but he still has yet to die. This Malphite, on the other hand, is making himself a veritable wall, and he has died 3 times. So it looks like there's a little bit of misplays going on here with some positioning strategy. Team Bro41 is really pulling it out, being able to make sure that they no stops, going all ham. No matter what the other team has been able to throw at them, it does not matter. Team LosJugadores has not been able to pull together a solid team fight, and they have just basically given up this dragon. They have little to no vision of this area, except for this Gragas barrel, which the dragon's been pulled away from. Not to mention it's going to be a Leona ult coming down, not going to be enough. I saw one smite there, and going to be Graves popping his buckshot for saving the dragon, and Jarvan popping his Cataclysm to get that Yasuo out of the way. And it is... Oh, and the team fight, they may be bulked as one, but they are going to be collapsed on from both sides as the J4 pops back in and ends up getting himself shot down by that Malphite. Malphite can't slow 3 people at once. All he can do is pump down the Elise, but with that repel was too much, and he ults to pop 2 of them up in the air, but it is not enough to save his life. He puts down what damage he can and gives it up. That was a 4-for-1 to Bro41. Less than 20 minutes in, it is 4-13, and we are seeing a 9k gold difference. 3 dragons in favor of Bro41. LosJugadores is really getting a run for their money. They aren't used to having to actually start playing defensively in this tournament so far. They've been on the offensive, they have been pushing, and they have been subjugating every team they've come against so far. But now they're having trouble turning it back around, turning the tables once it's being put on them. That Elise is out farming the Malphite like crazy. She is up to 105 CS to his 71. Not to mention the 3 kills up she has on him. That Elise is going to be a terror to behold very soon. The Jarvan also has a majority of their kills at just 6 and 1. With the second highest CS in the game. That Jarvan has recently completed his Hydra, and it is going to be a bloodbath once he decides to get in. Elise is trying to clean up Team LosJugadores. Busts again. Sights a Vision Ward, but is able to take it down pretty quickly. They think that they don't have the team advantage here, but in fact there is more power here from Bro41 than there is from Team LosJugadores. Jarvan goes in to take down as much of that tower's health as he can. As these two teams battle over Los's blue, and it goes to Team Bro. Oh, and the Alistar is caught a little bit out of zone, but it doesn't matter. He is too fat of a cow, and that Vayne can't do anything. Her silver bolts mean nothing to his health. And looks like we're seeing a lot of push coming in up top, or about to. This Jarvan and the Elise together, the two most fed people on the team, pushing up against two of the heaviest dying on the team, up against this Gragas and Malphite. There's nothing they can do as this tower is going to go down. Oh, and the Fiora joins them. It goes down in just 30 seconds, and the Elise goes in with that jump in spider form, and it does not follow through into much more in engage. They did the damage they wanted to, and they're going to get out. Bro 41 is playing as just like Los was in the past, where they're taking every handhold they can. They are not going to bother with going too ham all at once. They've got the advantage. They want to make sure they hold on to it, because even though they're this far behind, they're not out of the game just yet. Oh, and that flash and that ult from Graves, and it is just going to be a bloodbath. They do not care that that tower is still up, and all the teams are just all over the place. It is a bloodbath. It is so far a 2-3 for Bro 41. That Alistar is healing up as many people as he can, but that Leona is forming too much of a problem. The Graves just went down near the end of the team fight, and all that's left is Jarvan to clean up on the Leona. And he gets the ace. We're going to see how much damage he can put down on this tower as he cleans up the minions, and he can probably take down this inhibitor tower before he ends up needing to back off. With only Gragas and Malphite up, he is going to rush into... Yes, he flashes in to take down this tower, and then immediately flags out. That is a lot of disrespect he just gave that Gragas. I'm pretty sure that Gragas just got shamed. We're really seeing a lack of defensive ability here on part from Team LosJugadores. They've been pushing way too much in this game. All they can do is kind of clean up. They're doing a good job of trying to keep control of their old jungle now, but they had no control over it just 5 minutes ago, and that is really hurting them, losing all those buffs. Dragon's up in 1 minute. Everyone's cleaning up and moving back towards Dragon, and the Crustacean is already taken in favor of Team Bro 41, as all the vision's also being swept away from LosJugadores. Only a little bit of sight return thanks to some proactive warding on Leona's part, but it probably won't be enough. With a 10-kill advantage and 3 dragons for Bro 41 and the smite advantage, it looks like we are going to see this dragon go to Team Bro 41 again, unless we see some flash smite action. The Graves is proactively smoke screening the bush, making sure there's as few people who can see what's going on as possible, laying down a buckshot. And Grok is putting down that barrel, trying to get himself some vision for the next 3 seconds. But it's not going to be enough. And Jarvan goes in. He sees Leona by himself, but the stun makes him back off. He was able to do half her health and damage. And here comes the dragon. Little does he know that there are two teams here who just want him dead very much. Oh, and Jarvan goes in, gets the kill on Leona, sees her by herself again, and that's just disgraceful. Oh, and here we go again. We see some flashes coming out, and we see Vayne go down. Razor immediately taken out of the fight. Jarvan go in again and manage to take out Yasuo with Fiora's help, and they just turn immediately, ignoring the dragon, just saying, you know what? If they want to go for it, we're going for it too, and we're all in, and with the final buckshot, Graves picks up a kill on Gragas. They push him against these minions, and they're just going to go and take this inhibitor, because that was a 4 for 0, barely even any health lost on the part of Bro 41. This has been an insane push. They got all their damage deleted at once, thanks to that Jarvan and Fiora, and now they just have no way to continue backing themselves up. Leonel coming down, and it is not going to be enough to stop this tower, because the Jarvan is just bouncing in, and there he goes, deletes the Vayne again. That Vayne was alive for all of 30 seconds. Barely enough time to make use of whatever she bought. Team Bro 41 has been able to push this advantage much harder than LosJugadores ever pushed any of their advantages. LosJugadores only took one inhibitor at a time, but they just took two, including another inhibitor tower. There is not enough damage here for them to take out these super minions that have been pushing in, and they're going to continue pushing in. And we see Bro 41 leisurely going to take a dragon, as well as LosJugadores buffs. And there's fourth dragon for Bro. And we're seeing a 16k gold league. At this point for ranked play with that much gold difference, oh, and just deleted. Jarvan goes in again, and with that flag and his Hydra, he gets the Yasuo right out of existence. Puts him right out of his misery. I guess you could say Jarvan's having a breeze with Yasuo. There is no wind wall that can help that Yasuo up against a Cataclysm, let me say. And as that Malphite's wasting all of his mana and all of his health, just trying to take down some super minion waves, there is not enough damage on their team in order to fight up against this push. This is with some fairly early super minions in this game. And it looks like Baron has been warded up by Team Bro 41, but they are not interested in taking it just yet because they want that last inhibitor. They are going in strong, waiting until they can get someone off guard. And Jarvan goes in for that kill on Leona. He wants that engage all the way, so the Graves has a chance. He manages to burst her down to half health. And there goes the Elise, who misses the Cocoon, who's aiming for the Vayne. And Vayne gets stunned and poked by the Jarvan for a quarter of her health. And that's going to be enough to scare them as the Graves takes down that turret all by himself. Oh, and he's caught off guard. But they do it. That Graves turns around. And Fiora ends up getting a double kill. With Bro 41 pushing on all fronts, there is nothing that LosJugadores can do. Third inhibitor goes down. Jarvan tanking turret like it is just sort of wind chime. And he goes in again, just spanking that Yasuo. Leona goes down to that spider, and that is gonna be game. Maximum disrespect from that Itsy Bitsy spider as she attempts to repel out of spawn laser and fails. That was only Elise's only third death, and that is a victory. Goes in favor of Bro 41, the underdog that we were not expecting in this game. Comes out ahead of LosJugadores, who had not lost yet this game. An amazing game to cast here, folks. We're going to see on a little bit later as we start taking on some of the winners brackets as we move on into the final 3 games of this tournament. This has been First Name Big and A20. Keep watching, and we'll see you in just another half hour.